Hey there, dear Spellweaver community, and welcome back to a new episode of Spellweaver Ranked. As you can see, by the way, my old setup is back. The headband is back, and you all know what this means. Basically, this means we have beaten nature. The heat wave is conquered. As you know, here in Germany, it was pretty much like 30 degrees every day, all day, and I mentioned this in multiple instances in every in almost every Spellweaver video, and every video that I did in German, because I want you to feel sorry for me. I basically live next to the attic, and so I'm pretty near to the sun. The sun was basically my neighbor, so even at night it was like 30 degrees and I was fucking sweating. I was basically all natural in my bed, and I was fucking sweating bullets while I was sleeping, which was fucking terrible. But, we've conquered it, we have conquered nature, so why not play a nature deck today? And I know I'm definitely gonna regret this, because I have played this archetype of deck already in Spellweaver Ranked before, and I fucking hated it, because I think this is the worst mono color deck in the game. We basically go back to a rush deck. We have played the corruption aspect of it, which means zombies. We have played the order side of things, which is mono order soldiers. We have played blue soldiers, and we have played red soldiers, and we have played black soldiers. The Ron Burgundy version of soldiers, basically. And now we go back to a color that I think we already played before. Was a little bit of time ago. There were some additions to nature, but mono nature elves, which is also obviously a rush deck. But I've stated this multiple times. If I would have to rate rush decks in Spellweaver, Rage Rush is the #1, because that works like a charm almost every single time. Soldiers I would put in second, blue soldiers to be precise. Then I would say, at least from my experiences, mono order soldiers, red soldiers, and then I would, well, it depends. Soldiers and zombies are kinda go hand in hand, and are pretty much fun. But I think blue soldiers is the better between all the soldier archetype decks, that you have, and zombies. I would say blue soldiers are definitely the best one. Obviously, also depends on the meta of the game, or that the game is currently in. And elves is probably bottom of the barrel, the worst kind of rush deck out there, in my opinion, because every single other color has pretty much great creature removal, obnoxious fumes for corruption. They have Word of Pain. They have, well, usually not for rush decks, but they also have Consume Spirit. Midnight Cravings, which is awesome for zombies, obviously. Then for blue soldiers, you have, of course, Parallel Evolution. Enough said there. That's creature removal up the ass, basically. Of course, also Holy Radiance, Ray of Righteousness to deal with big, tough creatures. And for Rage Rush, Fireballs, Fire Blast, Cannonade, the whole 9 yard, Power Raid. And what does nature have? Tornado Outbreak, which the enemy just redraws it, and if it is like a big creature like Lord Karthus, then he just gets value out of it, because next turn he kills another one of your creatures. Landslide, which just lets you remove mid-game creatures and not late-game creatures. They have no good creature removal, I would say. They have creature removal, but just not good enough creature removal. Like nothing that immediately sends it to the graveyard. And for that matter, they also don't have really high-value creatures, I would say. Algaron, but when do you ever see an Algaron? Definitely not in rush decks. But I'm going off on a tantrum. Let's actually look at the deck tag for now. And this deck, by the way, or this deck list, is brought to you by SpellweaverDB.com. Obviously, Vanguard X posted that, and I just thought, like, why not use the most recent one that we have? Because yeah, back then elves were definitely shitty. Now it's a little bit better, because they had some decent additions with the last couple of updates. So, of course, we run basic Nieva with an awesome hero ability. All basic heroes have pretty good hero abilities, I would say, and they are not too expensive. It's only 1 nature level and 1 mana. Basically, we can play this in turn 1, which wouldn't make any sense, however. 4-round cooldown, however, which is pretty much needed, I would say, considering the low cost that you have to pay. All creatures you play this turn are swift until end of turn. And swift, of course, means if you play the creature and it is swift, it can attack immediately. We have Grove Sentinel, Grove Guardian, of course, one of the main core types of this deck, or main creatures, the cornerstones, if you will. Grove Guardian is also only 1 aspect, 1 mana, and whenever another Elves enters the field under your control, Grove Guardian gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So basically what we want to do is we want to play Grove Guardian, we want to play a bunch of Elves, we want to hit Naiva, hero ability, and then just go face with potentially a 5/5 Grove Guardian, and of course all the other creatures that we played this turn as well. Elf Scout, 4 of these, which is pretty good creature actually. It's also only 1 aspect, 1 mana, 4 speed however. Next to Prinha, the only other creature that's actually 4 speed, buffed up Prinha obviously. Of course you can put KFCs, Cavalry Field Captains, and then pump up a creature to 4 speed, but aside from Prinha, of course, the only true 4-speed creature in the game, I think. Is there another 4-speed? I don't think there is. Silverfang 4 times, which in the current meta is pretty good because we see Rage Rush usually, and we see, of course, Mono C, Mono Corruption, which is fucking garbage. Fucking hate playing against this. And this is where Silverfang is pretty much good. He's 2/2 3 speed. And Silverfang is deadly in combat against creatures of evil. And creatures of evil, obviously, that's Rage, Dominion, and Corruption. Against these 3, Silverfang is deadly, which is pretty awesome. And it doesn't say it right here, and I don't know if you need Wolf Tongue for this, but if you have 4 aspects, which you don't do, you only need 2 for this deck, then Silverfang also gets buffed to a... was it a 3/3? 3 speed deadly? Not too sure about that though, and I think he's swift. Gurko Tribe Shaman is one of our buff creatures, basically. It's a 1/2 speed. You may play Gurko Tribe Shaman under a creature you control to put a Might Emblem on that creature. When that creature leaves the field, return Gurko Tribe Shaman onto the field, which means it's a little bit like that new Rage Spirit that they have. That you can play under basically every creature. So yeah, you put him onto a creature. He's under that creature. That creature is buffed for +1/+1, and if the creature dies, it dies for real, and the Gurko Tribe Shaman enters the field with the usual 1/2 speed stats. We have the Elf Warrior, another 2/2 3 speed, vanilla card right here. We have Nienna, Legendary Storyteller, which is this and the Summoner Druid is a pretty cool combination, and it's a little bit of fun to play with this, to be honest. He's coming onto the support line, but you can put him on the front line and you can actually attack with him. So you can put Gurko under him to make him a 4/1 at the very least. Doesn't do much, but I mean, 3 HP protects you from a little bit. He's a support, and play with the top card of your deck revealed. If it is an elf, you may play that card as though it were in your hand, which means we can manipulate top deck. If we have an elf there, we can just play it and then explode on the board, basically. We have 3 Elvish Champions. That is one of the newer additions, and that actually helps mono nature elves a little bit. It comes with 2 play boosts. The first one, Swift, if you control 3 or more other creatures, and the second play boost, that's basically when you are ahead. And when you are behind in the game, the second play boost would be Might Emblem if the enemy hero controls 3 or more creatures, and yes, these 2 play boosts can trigger both. If you put this down. 3/2 speed, pretty decent stats, and of course, you know, it's a 4/3 if the enemy hero is, or the enemy player is ahead. We have 1 Venerated Unicorn, which is basically just value. It's a 2/2 3 speed, and when Venerated Unicorn enters the field, you may destroy a spell. Self-explanatory, gets rid of Tombs of the Damned, stuff like that. We have Summoner Druid, which is a pretty cool card. Also comes on the support line and comes with 2 energy. We can use it for 1 energy, exhaust it, and the second creature card you play this turn costs 2 mana less. So basically what you can do is you can put down Summoner Druid, that's the first creature, you use his ability, and then you can play any of these creatures without paying the actual mana cost for it, because -2 mana. Of course, if it's in Haldiri, right, it's a little bit of a different story because you still have to pay 2 mana. But it's a pretty cool card nonetheless. It's Swift, which means you put it down, you can attack right away with it. And it's 2 HP, 3 damage, 3 speed. That's basically, by the way, the only thing that Elves actually have going for them. That they have mostly 3-speed creatures. They're only like, there's only, well, Summoner Druid is on the support line for a 2-1, and Nienna is usually also on the support line, even though you can, of course, play him in the front row to just block incoming damage in the early game. But, yeah, aside from these and the Elvish Champion, everything that you can see right here, and the Gurkha, I guess, is 3 to 4 speed. Aside from the Grove Guardian, it would be a little bit ridiculous, I think. But, yeah, that's the only thing that Elves actually have going for them, that they have like 3 speed and 4 speed creatures, so it's pretty tough to block their creatures. But if we run into a Mono Corruption, we know they run Suffocate, and that wipes the board, obviously. We have 2 Call of Jelias. Why only 2? Simple reason. Search your deck for a nature card with mana cost 2 or less, which is everything that we have in the deck except for the Haldiri Rider. Or less, and put it into your hand. Shuffle Call of Jelaya into your deck, which means this card never goes out of stock. It's always back in the deck. Yeah, we can search out pretty much everything right here, which is also pretty cool. Also, the Elvish Champion, if we happen to be behind or ahead and we want a little bit of more damage output, obviously. We have 4 Tidal Waves, which is a pretty cool card. Move an enemy creature from the front line to the support line or vice versa, and it redraws itself, which is pretty cool. And only 2 aspects, 1 mana, by the way. So pretty efficient and cheap at that. We have 3 Symbol of Growth. An allied creature gets, which is also a new addition, and it also helps Elves a little bit, because as you can see, right, by the way, the only real damage we have is a 3-2 or 4-3, if it gets the play boost with the Might Emblem, and the Haldiri Rider for 3 damage. But 2 HP just gets killed by everything, basically. So this is basically the thing that we use to deal with bigger creatures that the enemy might put down. An allied creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn and is unstoppable this turn. So unstoppable, it says right here, deals its remaining damage to the defending hero, which is pretty good. I think it's called Trample, by the way, in Magic. And the play boost, you may pay 1 mana, basically 3 mana for this. If you do, when that creature deals damage to a hero this turn, choose 1, destroy a non-creature card, which can be beneficial, or summon a Shooting Sprout onto the field. Usually I always go for the Shooting Sprout because it's a 1/2, but the cool thing is, you can see it right here, double all, oh again, we can't even enlarge this, but double all attack and HP modifications Shooting Sprout receives, which means a Might Emblem is usually +1/+1. This one gets +2/+2, which is pretty awesome. So we can also play a Gurkha Tribe Shaman under a Shooting Sprout to just buff it up to a, was it a 2/2 or a 2/3? I mean 3/2. I think it was a 2/8. No, I think it should be like 3. Yeah, 3 HP, 2 damage. Yeah, we can basically do that, which is pretty cool. And then for shrines, we have 2 Valleys of the Ancients or Valley of Ancients, and obviously 17 Nature Shrines. I think Vanguard X only uses 1 valley. I put in 2 just for value, obviously. We can also put stuff in like Marked by the Gods. Can be useful, but I don't think we really need it. Also for skill shrines, we could go for Fleeting Mirage. However, for the creatures that we have, you know, it's a rush deck, so we don't necessarily want to get creatures back and play it again, because we don't really have creatures that benefit from it. Maybe the Venerated Unicorn to destroy multiple spells, that could work. Summon a Druid to that he comes back with 2 energy again, could work. Maybe Haldiri to just, you know, save it from being killed. Also, Moonlight Monument might work. Next time you play a level 1 creature, an allied creature gets +1/+1 is pretty good. As well, of course, as Elven Sanctuary. It's basically made for elf decks, because an elf you control gets +1/+1. But, we shouldn't rely on this. We shouldn't need this, basically. So that's why you see mostly creatures, because we want to explode on the board. By the way, one thing that I just noticed, by the way, is that this doesn't run Brothers in Arms. Let me show you this, because that actually makes sense to put this in. I think it's in every elf deck that I've seen so far. Because this one, when it comes into play, we play another copy of this. And when one Brother in Arms dies, the other one goes into the graveyard as well. But you can search it out with Call. You can't, I think. No, mana cost 2 or less, you definitely can. So, yeah, you usually want to run 4 Brothers in Arms, because you play these. If this one is out, he's a 3/3 immediately, and if you go for hero ability, obviously, you can swing in for 4 damage from the Brothers, and 3 damage from him, which is 7 damage in 1 turn. So I don't know why this isn't in there. Because they are also elves, so that means you can also play this off of Nienna. But you know, it's from Spellweaver DB. That's Vanguard X's list. I'm just gonna abide to his will and see if this works out. It probably won't, because I fucking hate elves and I still think they are garbage. But we're gonna see. Currently we are ranked 145 with a rating of 1149. More or less also thanks to Trap Lock last time. So let's see how it goes in game number 1. And that was rather fast. Game number 1 against Lupius, Mono Corruption, and we probably are gonna have a really bad time. Keep it. Oh, yeah, by the way, Silverfang is, yeah, he's deadly against Mono C, which is good. But also he's a legendary, which I totally forgot to mention. Which just means that you can only have 1 copy of them, of these cards out at a time. Right, oh! Oh, is that, Azera's Decay? That would be interesting, because I haven't seen that in ages! For a good reason, because she just got hit by the Nerf Hammer pretty bad. I don't want to get rid of anything, to be honest here. Maybe the Unicorn. Could work out, we're gonna see. Fireball. Against our doggo, no problem. I have more where that came from. That's for Ding Dong damn sure. Oh, that dude played that on curve before his turn. That bashed it? Okay. Get this to a 3/3. And get it fireballed. Of course, should have seen that coming. But that's 2 fireballs in the graveyard, so that's 2 removal dealt with. And we still have 3 damage on the board. So there's that. Also, of course, one thing that is a little bit of a problem with this deck is that you can run out of... still save 2 mana. Could be another fireball. That you run out of cards pretty fast. Or, yeah. We could actually go for the aspect here, but there is no real need at the moment, so... Let's attack first. Or do we... Yeah, let's actually play this under this guy. See how he feels about that. What kind of a fuck shit is this? I mean, it's good. That's 3 removal fireballs out of the way. But what in the fuck did this guy draw? Did he drew like every one of his fucking fireballs? That's insane. Is all I'm saying. Let's go for mana. He literally drew 3 fireballs, potentially 4. That's redonkulous. Yeah, everything basically deals with... He's probably gonna... Nah, he can't block Silverfang because he's 3 speed. Never mind. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that, I guess. Maybe he's gonna block the Gurkle, which is not a problem, actually. Because, yeah, he can't block any of the other creatures, so he keeps it. Now I would like to have Hermillion hero ability. Let's draw. Okay. Shrine into Shrine, why not? Probably gonna toss it, however. Going for the Summoner Druid. Summoner Druid into Nienna would be pretty good, and then a bunch of Elf top decks would help out. But the thing is, he only needs like a Fire Blast, and then we are pretty much effed. Yeah, I won't change the blocker, you know? That's just not something that I would do. I'm pretty sure he has, yeah, of course he has Fire Blast. Well, if you expect me to block, let me tell you, I can't even. Gurkle. That's good. So I guess I'm gonna summon a druid into Gurkle. Play that onto him, getting him to a 3/3. Could have made 4 damage if I would have gone for native terrain. 5 damage with the summon a druid. I can't. He's exhausted. Never mind. He still has 1 energy. Could be a debate if I should move him to the front line, but I don't think I should. And yeah, now by the way, we have the value problem. We don't have any creatures in hand. He does. Bad times, and of course. This fucking removal all the time. It's great. Alright. So yeah, like Niana would be good. That doesn't do jack shit. We have him at 8 HP, however, so that's a start. And we also have our hero ability. So if he goes all out in 1 turn, and then we have like a top deck Bonanza, that would help out. And we have this one, making a 3/3 basically. Not anymore. So I guess I have to pass a couple of turns now. Let's see. Yeah, let's keep that for now. I mean, they have 1 speed, so they don't block anything in the first place. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think now we can actually resign this. As you can see, no cards in hand. Can't do shit, and of course, you know that. I mean, it's not really 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 lethal. Yeah, let's resign this. Ah, God, that's about as much as I expected from Elves. Maybe we only keep this at 2 games because I don't want to tumble down too much in the ladder. But that was it for game number 2. Number 1. Let's see how it goes in game number 2.